Good evening, folks. Welcome to Just Another Conversation with your host, Mr. Unspeakable, and these are hard times in our country where we have to stick together and look out for one another. These are the serious times, and these serious times are not going to go away anytime soon. The politicians are using their money and their power to sidetrack all the most important things that are out there. And they're using all the resources given to them to sidetrack, to push all of us to the side like we're junk, like we're garbage. We're just like the dust particles on the floor that they walk on the top of. If you know what I mean, that if they walk through, they just kind of sweep us to the side. And they only notice those particles that are bigger. They got something to offer. I just want to say thank you all for stopping by. Please subscribe, hit the notification button, or a bell, excuse me, and give us some likes, because it would really help. Now, these are also very extremely interesting times. We found ourselves in a confusion. These are extremely confusing times. In times where we don't want to help our neighbor, in times where we can't wait but to stab each other in the back, and in times where you think that you can trust your best friend, but you find out that same friend is stealing from you. And this is nothing new. It's been going on for many, many years. And it's just getting worse. And those in power that only know how to sidetrack all of us. They know just the right buttons to push to make us look almost unnoticeable, if that's how you say it, right? And we really are unnoticeable because they're doing whatever they want. But today we're not going to talk about politics that much. In general, I don't like to talk about politics, but it seems to be taking up a lot of space around everyone. So we're kind of forced to talk about politics, but I really don't want to. I will say a few words about politics today. I gotta tell you, this is a shame that one of the top organizations in this country that has been around for many, many, many decades, who has helped many, many people out there in trouble, helped many people during many hurricanes, during many catastrophes, people who have stayed without homes, offered people food, offered people places to stay. Um, who am I talking about? I'm talking about FEMA. And who am I to speak about FEMA? I mean, I probably know about FEMA less than you guys do. But I do know one thing, that the chief, David Richardson, the top FEMA director, resigned from Trump administration, and I understand why. The man is just fed up with all the nonsense and all the bullshit that's happening. I mean, politicians are great at creating bullshit, you know, and you kind of get tangled up in all the bullshit, and you just don't know which way to go first. the confusion is taking over the, those that are resilient and smart and those that want to be on the top, they're not here. They're trying to get out of here and go somewhere else and be of service to someone else. They don't want to be of service here anymore because we don't want people like that. We don't want people that they can offer something good. We just want some old folks to be in charge. We want old dudes with money. We don't want smart, young, prosperous, and energetic. We just want old and nasty with nasty attitude and just like a lot of them are there right now, like rotted freaking corpses, just sitting there in their chairs and stinking up the whole place. But nothing gets done. But I'm going to also talk about one thing that's kind of, well, it is alarming. The decline of, now this is not a racial thing. It's just, I will get to the rest of the things in a little bit, but I'm just going to talk about what I've noticed, and it's been talked about that the things are pretty crappy, okay? 1 in every 4 households in the United States live from paycheck to paycheck. Guys, let that sink in. 1 in 4. %24 of households spend over 95% of their income on necessities. Like, you know what I mean? Food. Food. 90% or 95% of my money goes to food. And food is not affordable anymore. When I'm going out to buy food, I feel like I'm buying jet fuel. Like something that I really need, but I can't get it. I can't. It is so close, but so far away. There are certain items that I have to cut out of my life because they're not affordable anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want to eat fish, but fish, a piece of tuna is $6. There's out there people who eat steak, but steak now is like $30 a pound. If you want to get ground beef, right now it's, depending where you go, Kroger's is $8 a pound. There's a store not too far from where I live where ground beef is $3 a pound. That's crazy. And that's the crappy stuff, like 75%. And like 25% fat. You know what I mean? Is all that stuff. It's not like 95% ground beef. It's like 75% that stuff that they ground up, like skin and fat and a little bit of meat, and they just put it on the shelf, and if anybody's desperate enough to be able to make something with that, if you're a freaking Chef Boyardee, you can come up with some weird meal with that. Now, the white population in this country is actually declining. It's what it says out there. The white population is declining. Now, not that it matters to me. I'm personally not white all the way. I'm like half white, half what do you call it? Eastern European. I'm kind of in between white and dark. I'm more dark meat than I'm not. Let's just say that. But they're saying that the white population, according to the latest U.S. Census Bureau estimates released in June of 2025, is declined by 0.1% from previous year, declined from 2020 to 2024, and in 4 years, it declined by 2.5 by 2.1 million. And they're saying by 2045, the white population projected to fall below 50%, which means that's about 0.1% annual decline rate. Now, other populations that live here, like blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans, they're all in rise. Now, I don't know why that is, but that's just true. Asian population, 4.2% annual growth. So Asians, 4.2% annual growth. Hispanics, 2.9% growth. Now, there's the black population is also growing. So there's 51.63 million blacks that live in the United States, representing a 15.2% of the total of the United States population. And that marks a 33% increase since 2000. So the black population has increased since 2000 33%. And then at 2000 it stood at 36.2 million, and now it stands at 51.63. So that's 5.1 increase since the 2020. Now, I don't care what race gets what increase or what race goes up or what race goes down. It doesn't really fucking matter. To me, we're all the same. Right? But people seem to really pay attention on social media. Who makes more money? Who makes less money? Oh, I got this car. Look at me driving a Lamborghini. Look at me driving a Maserati. I'm a black. I'm a Hispanic. I'm a white. I make more money than you. It doesn't really freaking matter. But to some people, it does. Now, there's a lot of innocent people sitting in the prisons. A lot of people who haven't committed any kind of crime, and they just sit in the prison. Not a lot of them, but there are some of those that are innocent. And they always try to push this narrative. There's always this narrative that's been pushed around that the blacks are, for some reason, the biggest criminals in the world. That they cause the most crimes, the most killings, the most robberies. It is just not true. It's never been true. If you actually go and look it up, it's gonna be a different. You're gonna get a different result than what you think. And also, who earns the most money in this country? It's not whites. It's Asians. Asians earn. There's two different statistics. Okay, $50,000, between $50,000 and $113,000. Okay, median. Then whites are between 40,000 and somewhere in 83,000, and then Hawaiians and blacks earn the least. But then it also says the white Americans have far more wealth. Yes, there's more white billionaires, but I think in overall, who makes the most money in general, like statistically in general, who makes the most money? I wouldn't say it's whites. I would say there's the Asians. Not that it really matters. I just kind of was going through it today, and I'm just like, I was just really interested to see what population makes the most money, who commits most crimes, and stuff like that. But it's definitely not the blacks who are committing most crimes, folks. If you look at all the violent crimes in the United States, okay? Violent crimes in the United States. Whites are beating everyone by a long shot. Okay? Whites stand at 53%. Blacks stand at 25%. Hispanic somewhere around 14%. And other around 8%. Now, out of all total crimes, and I just looked at this at the FBI Bureau of Investigation, or whatever, it was some kind of FBI site that I looked at. Total crimes United States committed out of 6,816,975. Whites have committed 4,729,290 versus blacks who have committed only 1,815,144. American Indian who have committed only 164,000 versus Asian who have committed, compared to everybody else, almost no crimes, to 86,733. Now, I'm just going to throw his papers away because I don't care. I'm just going to talk whatever comes to my mind. Now, can somebody tell me what the fuck is happening in this country? Because I'm really goddamn, I'm confused. I've been for a while. Every day I look at the news, I see Trump, and I see more Trump, and I see more Trump. But then I look at everything else, and I see that there are many other problems out there. Why in the fuck is it that we're only talking about this one man who has everything, who's always had everything given to him? I mean, for Christ's sakes, he doesn't even know how much eggs cost nowadays, or bread. I mean, it's not his fault. He was born into wealth. I mean, if you think that shoppers are a new thing, like we have DoorDash now, and we have Shipped, and we have all these other guys that buy groceries for us, it's nothing new, man. Rich people have had their own shoppers years and decades before. It's nothing new, folks. And that's when Trump was a young kid. He just says to his dad, "Hey, Dad, I want this, and they probably had their own people that went out and shopped for him, private shoppers that brought him food. They never really had to worry about what costs, how much. It never really occurred to him, so that's why he's really disconnected. And most of his friends and every administration before him was always they were always disconnected. This is why you cannot have a traditional politician fight for regular folks. It just doesn't work. It won't work. You cannot have someone that went to school for politics whose father was a billionaire a builder who avoided military, who... Okay, even to put that aside, I'm saying just rich people in general who are pumping billions into the politics, who are from year to year are always